Welcome to Psych 115. My name is Dr. Erica Soto. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have a doctorate in clinical psychology and a credential in school counseling as well. So, needless to say, I love anything that is psychology related. I'm happy to have you in class. I know that this quarter is a huge adjustment for everyone. There's so much change in the world right now. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much fear, uh, so much physical distancing, and just lots of time at home. And I hope that you all are adjusting okay. I know none of us asked for this, and some of you maybe have a lot of anxiety about doing virtual classes, while others may actually be excited about doing virtual classes and not having to drive to campus. And no matter how you're feeling is okay. Some of you might have mixed emotions. I think I have mixed emotions too. But we're gonna get through this together. I'm here for you. I'm going to support you all the way through this class. It's not a difficult class. My goal is to not be hard on you guys. My goal is to make sure that you all are successful and take with you a lot of valuable things that we're gonna learn about in our textbook. So I'm going to take a minute just to kind of review Blackboard. I know you all are probably familiar with Blackboard at this point, but maybe you haven't had to be as involved in it up until this quarter. I did my best to make it very user-friendly, to make everything clear and concise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And I'm just going to walk you through it. Okay. So if you feel like it all makes sense to you after just reading the syllabus, you don't have to watch this video. But if you want a specific breakdown of assignments, then this is the place to be. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So we are going to, so when you first get to our class, so Psych 115, I'm teaching multiple sections. So yours might be 5, yours might be 7, whatever one is yours that pops up in Blackboard. And I'm gonna have you take a wild guess and guess where we begin. We're gonna begin with the Start Here tab. Just a little bit about myself. It's one of my favorite things about teaching face-to-face. It's probably my favorite thing is getting to know my students, connecting with them, especially with this class. This class is very personal, subjective. There's a lot of interesting yet difficult topics to speak about, topics that most of us aren't used to speaking about out loud and in a group setting. And so this class, when I teach it face-to-face, it's very interactive. It's not so much lecture heavy. It's more discussion-based heavy. So I'm really, part of me is really sad that we're not going to get that this quarter, but that doesn't mean that we can't connect. It doesn't mean that we can't get to know each other. I'll let you know how we might do that. So I enjoy teaching face-to-face because I love getting to know students. I love having just really thoughtful, deep discussions. I learn a lot from my students. I also teach at Cal Baptist University. I teach at the master's level for those who are in school to become therapists. And I currently see clients as well. I work with kids, teens, and young adults who are really struggling with depression, anxiety, and trauma. It's as cliche as it sounds, it's my passion to help others and just be in their space, connect with them, walk with them through their difficult journeys. And I'd like to be in your space as well, your space as a student, your space in learning. So the Start Here, it will have my bio as well as kind of the roadmap for this class. Basically, the main tabs that you are going to be using is the syllabus tab, the modules and exams tab, and the tab for the personal growth project. The modules have everything you need to complete each week. So we'll go through that in a minute. And just a reminder that you are always welcome to contact me, okay? So tips for online success in an online class. So some people really thrive in online settings. Other people just survive, and other people unfortunately aren't successful. And that could be for a number of reasons. But some keys for if you've never taken an online class before, really you want to be organized. Okay, so you want to maybe print out the syllabus, highlight the due dates, use a planner, basically whatever you do to be successful in a face-to-face college class. I encourage you to do it in an online class as well. Keep up with the content. We do have specific due dates that are very clear. I'll let you know what they are. So, you know, if we can get them done ahead of time, that's preferred. However, I've definitely been a student myself, and sometimes we do things at the last minute and get things in 5 minutes, 1 minute before it's due. And hey, we're human, it happens. But you're going to save yourself a lot of anxiety and stress if you space everything out and kind of go into the week with a mindset of, I'm going to do this, and just kind of have a plan for yourself. Blackboard's this whole class. It's all on Blackboard. Therefore, you have to be engaging in Blackboard often. Please check your emails regularly. If I do have a change, I always submit it through the announcements that will come to your email. And if you need Wi-Fi, if you don't have open access to Wi-Fi where you live, you can go to the east and west parking structures located in the back of the university, and you'll be able to pick up Cal State's Wi-Fi. There's also a ton of other resources. So if you are someone who maybe has limited access to computers or the internet, Cal State, San Bernardino, the school has done so much to ensure everyone's success. So reach out to me, reach out to the college. If you look on the side, there's the university resources, and it has just a ton of different resources to meet your needs. So, okay, then we are going to go to the syllabus. And what I'm going to do is pull it up and see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share it on a new screen. So here's our syllabus. And obviously my office hours will be virtual. So I have a specific Zoom meeting link that is provided for you right here. It's in a couple other spots too. So I don't have any like really set office hours. Rather, I'm going to just be scheduling. So if you are wanting to meet face-to-face rather than communicate via email, I'm so happy to do that, and we'll figure out a time that works for both of us. The book that you're going to need is the Corey and Corey, I Never Knew I Had a Choice. This book has been used forever. It was used when I was a student at Cal State San Bernardino. It's interesting. It's a good book. It's available through Amazon, through the website, whatever's easiest for you. You don't have to have a hard copy if you prefer electronic copies, but it is important that you guys get the book because test questions come out of the book, and we'll talk more about that. So this course is all about personal adjustment, typical and predictable challenges and problems that all of us experience through our lifespan. So we're going to start with infancy and go all the way up to adulthood and older adulthood. We're going to talk about challenges with our families, college life, and we know it's a GE class. It's 2 units, so it's not there's not the amount of work that you're going to have in your core class or a 4-unit class. I'm really aware that this is all new for us, and I want you to know that I have so much compassion you guys are troopers for just rolling with the punches. And I have it in the back of my mind that everyone's adjusting to this. It's difficult. There are circumstances that are difficult for people. So again, this is not a class that I really want you to stress out about. I hope it's more of a class that you enjoy. So we have class attendance and a participation, but what does that look like since we're not meeting? Basically, we have weekly quizzes, other than we don't have one the week of the midterm. There are only 3 questions, only 1.25 points per question, 8 total, and you will see them under each module. So again, only 3 questions. You have 30 minutes to take it, and they're all questions either from the book or from the PowerPoints that I provide. Everything for each module, every week, our assignments are due Friday at 11:59. Okay, so just think Fridays at 11:59, that's when I have to get all my work in. You also have weekly homework. That's also due by Friday at 11:59. So this is a very asynchronous class, meaning that you kind of do things at your own pace in a sense. There are deadlines, but you could turn it in Wednesday, you could turn it in Thursday, you could turn it in Friday, as long as it's due Friday by 11:59. And I will tell you that the homework is extremely subjective. So it's not like research heavy questions. It's all about your personal experience. So you want to do the homework assignments because you can't get them wrong, basically. I'm not going to sit there and grade and say, nope, sorry, that wasn't your experience when you were a child. That didn't happen to you. So I want you to reflect on the whole purpose of this class is to reflect on our own experiences and maybe identify areas in which we are really strong in, areas in which we want, maybe are striving for some growth. And this homework is really going to help you kind of get your wheels turning and help you reflect. And they are 5 points each. You have 6 of them. We have 2 exams, non-cumulative. So once you're done with the midterm, it's, chapters 1 through 5 is the midterm, and then the remainder of the chapters will be for the final. You have the due date is under the modules. Again, you will have a whole week to complete it. I mean, the test is timed. You get an hour for 40 multiple choice questions. But it's not like a set specific time that you have to take it, just as long as it's complete anywhere from Monday to Friday of week 5. And again, the timeline is going to be very clear as we go through the modules. Then we have a personal growth project, and this is due at the very end of the quarter. This is a big part of your grade, so you want to make sure that you do it. It's also very subjective, meaning all about personal experiences. I love these projects because I love the homework, and I love the projects because I get to know more about you guys. I get to hear more of your stories, and it's truly an honor to me. And I want you to know that I read all of them. So I can't provide specific feedback on every single one. I will provide some in Blackboard, but I also want you to know that what you're sharing with me is very meaningful, and I appreciate it. It's not easy to talk about ourselves sometimes, and you're welcome to share as little or as much as you want, okay? I respect your boundaries. I respect how comfortable you are in sharing. That's whatever. It's no pressure to share. If you're not willing, if a question feels uncomfortable for you, that's okay. You could write about that. Online participation, that's obviously a given because we're in a virtual setting. You really should be reading each chapter. There's pretty much only one chapter per week. Towards the end of I think there's 1 or 2 weeks where we have 2 chapters, but for the most part, it's just 1 week. That's the week we focus on. And you also have an opportunity to earn 6 points of extra credit. You could do it through SONA. From what I know is the SONA experiments are still taking place even though we are all online. You could get up to 6 points. However, if that doesn't work for you, there's also an alternative extra credit option. You could write journal entries on a topic that was covered in class. So you could write up to 3, meaning that they're 2 points each. And what you would do is you would just email me if you want to go that route, and I will read it and then make sure that you get the points in Blackboard. So again, you have up to 6 points to earn of extra credit. My course policies, I don't want to spend too much time here. They're pretty typical. You guys know not to plagiarize or cheat. You shouldn't be using the book when you take the exam. I don't have much control over that, but the exam is timed. And there's, again, not really much opportunity to plagiarize because it's all subjective writing. It's not research-based. And if so, though, there's consequences, but you guys, we're all adults, and I'm not worried about that. Missed work, I'm very flexible, meaning I'm all about communication. If something comes up for you, especially right now, because I know right now we are in trying times, turbulent times, it's changing every hour, just let me know. If there's an emergency, if you're having a difficult time, if you're struggling, email me or set up a meeting to chat via Zoom, and I will work with you. I want you to succeed, and I want to put out there that we're all on the same team here, okay? So communication, number one thing for me. Again, grades, I post grades pretty quickly. Actually, I do post grades pretty quickly. You'll get your personal growth projects back. I don't like to keep my students waiting for too long, so as soon as I could grade them, I'll do that. And then any quiz and tests that you're taking in this class, it's going to be scored automatically through the system, so you'll get your grades right away. If you are a student with a disability, there's the information there. If you have certain accommodations, please let me know, and that way I could honor those accommodations. Email, best way to get a hold of me. That's really the only way at this point, is to email me. I respond really quickly usually. Again, one of my pet peeves is to be left hanging for a long time, and so I always have my phone on me, and so I try my best to get back with you within 24 hours. Usually it's much sooner than that. If you don't hear back from me for some reason within 48 hours, that's very atypical for me. That means I probably didn't get it or something happened. So just send me a follow-up to just make sure that I received it. And then we have additional resources. There's also a tab in Blackboard that gives you a bunch of resources, especially right now, given that we are adjusting to being a virtual campus for spring quarter. The point breakdown is here. So we have 8 quizzes, which turns out to be 30 points total, and that's 15% of your grade. You have 6 homework assignments, 5 points each, another 15% of your grade. The midterm and the final, 80 points, 40 points each, 40 questions on each test, so 40 questions, all multiple choice on the midterm and the final, making it a total of 80 points, 1 point per question, 40% of your grade, and then the personal growth project is 60% of your, or 60 points, 30% of your grade, making the class a total of 200, potentially able to earn 6 points of extra credit, which would help you out a lot. This is really, it says tentative course schedule, but I don't anticipate anything changing just because you guys it's asynchronous, so lots of independent learning's going on, and we're just taking it module by module. So again, we have mostly just focusing on 1 chapter each week. Week 5 is when you'll take your midterm. It'll say it under the module folder, and that week you don't have any homework due. Your homework is your midterm exam. There's no quiz. And then the second half of the class looks exactly the same as the first half. Once we get through week 1, you'll see that you're going to get your rhythm going. It's the same each week, just different material. The personal growth project is due week 9. The exact due date is in there for you. It's also the last day to complete your extra credit. Final grades will be in no later than the 16th of June. And I'm a really big fan of Dr. Brene Brown. She is a researcher, social worker, storyteller, as she gives herself the title. And because this class is kind of challenges us to look inward a bit and not stay so surface level, it could get a little uncomfortable sometimes. And that's why I feel sad that we're not meeting in person. But again, I think we could get just as much value out of it online. And she says, choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what's fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them is the definition of integrity. And I really want us to have integrity throughout this whole class. I don't just mean being honest and not cheating, but having integrity with ourselves, challenging ourselves to go there, to dig deeper, to look at our blind spots. Okay, so that's the syllabus. I'm going to take a second and go back. Really quick. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And so, like I said, I have major due dates listed. So the midterm exam is, you have to do it by Friday, May 8th by 5 p.m. The exam will open up that Monday. And you'll have until Friday. So whatever day and time works for you to take it, that's perfectly fine as long as it's in by that time and date. The personal growth project is due by June 5th by 5 p.m. And the final exam is due Friday, June 12th by 5 p.m. Again, you have, for the tests, you have an entire Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday until 5 p.m. to complete it. The weekly homework and quizzes are due Fridays at 5 p.m., excluding week 5 because that's the week of your midterm. So my office hours information is here. There's some instructions. I know a lot of us are using Zoom. It's very user-friendly. I love Zoom, but just in case you're unfamiliar, there's a PDF that breaks it down really nicely. But really, basically, all you have to do is download it and click the link, and that'll take us to my personal meeting room, which is right here. So you could just literally click it from here. And again, we're scheduling office hours just based on appointment. So if you do want to talk to me in person, send me an email and we'll find a time that works for both of us. Discussion board. So there's nothing in here that's required for the class. I just want to put it out there, give you an option. So I'd love for you to introduce yourself. I'm looking forward to getting to know you all this class. Again, I get to know my students pretty well because we're talking about our own experiences. So it's a lot of fun for me. But I want you to feel like you know me too. I don't feel like it's fair for me to expect you guys to share all this stuff and then me not share. Again, we're limited, but we'll do our best here. If you have any specific questions about the actual material or a question that you feel like others might have, if you have a question about the material, please know you're probably not the only one with that question. So posting it on a public forum is usually really helpful. A lot of students are grateful for that. So there's a space for you to leave that here. You would just click and you would just literally create a thread and type in your question and click submit, and it will notify me and it will notify, it'll show up for all the other students, and I will also post a public answer within a timely manner. And then we have the coffee shop, which is free. We're free to talk about anything, maybe not so specific to like the reading content or the material, but maybe just what comes up for us, or maybe our personal experiences. For example, talking about our upbringing, maybe how social media is affecting us. So we are free to connect, discuss, and engage just as we would in class. We could do it just through the threads. We could do it through Zoom, because we could have groups in Zoom meetings, and it's totally optional. But if you're wanting to do that, then I'd be so excited. And I'm so open to doing that. So please, if you're feeling compelled to do so, we absolutely can. We're not limited just to connecting, through the discussion boards. It could also be face-to-face. So this is the biggest tab that you're going to use, is the modules and exams. So you see there's a folder for each week, and folders for the midterm and the final. So let me just show you week 1. Each week I post an agenda. That way it's just kind of a checklist for everything you need to do, but it's pretty self-explanatory just because everything you need for the week is in here. Again, you have, so module 1 will be due by Friday, the 10th at 11:59, meaning that here's your PowerPoint after you read the chapter, and the PowerPoints are designed to complement the text, meaning that I've provided additional information. I've broken it down for you. I didn't feel like actual live lectures were necessary because even in the face-to-face class, it's not very lecture heavy. I didn't want to put that on you guys. We could certainly talk more about it if you're feeling like you're missing that part, and that's what the coffee shop is for. But you have the book, and then you have I made sure to provide detail on the PowerPoints, and it really summarizes the main points. And then you have your quiz, which is for that chapter. So chapter 1 for week 1. The quiz, again, only 3 questions. You have 30 minutes to complete it. You'll be able to find all the answers in the PowerPoints or the text. And then your homework, there's just a couple questions. Again, you'll see, like, as you reflect on self-exploration that is ahead in this course, what do you anticipate as challenges in your journey? So it's just questions like that to just kind of look inward, reflect, and you will answer each question in complete sentences. There's kind of the formatting requirements there. And then you will literally just turn it in here. So if you haven't used Turnitin, all you have to do to turn in your homework, you'll go view and complete. And then your option will be different here. It's just because I'm the instructor. But you'll write your name, your first name, your last name, and then whatever you want to title. So usually it's just homework 1. And then you need to submit it through, please try to submit it through a Word document. I know there's the option for Dropbox and Google Drive, but in the past, that's given, for some reason, it doesn't always work well. So if you could save it in a Word document on your desktop, that's fine too. Now, if for some reason you're having challenges uploading it, don't freak out. It's okay. Email me and we'll figure it out. If worse, I don't want emails of your homework, but if worse comes to worse, if it comes down to that, I'll accept it. That's totally okay. If you do it, we'll make sure that you get, credit for it. Okay. So that's your typical week, is that you're going to start, I would start by reading the chapter, review the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint's really just going to kind of enhance, put high beams on the important concepts, take your quiz, and then do your homework and submit it. So it's pretty basic. Now I do want to show you, so that's really the structure. Now week 5 is a little different, because week 5, we do have a chapter to review, which is chapter 5. It's on stress, but you don't have any quiz or homework. So the homework, I put a reminder that the homework will be due, the homework is your midterm, and that will be due by Friday, May 8th at 5 p.m. I know I keep repeating my dates, but I just want to make sure it's clear. So that, the test will open up by Monday, May 4th at 8 a.m. And you have from Monday, May 4th at 8 a.m. to Friday, May 8th at 5 p.m. to complete it, okay? Now let me just show you really quick. So here's where you would go in here to complete the midterm exam, and you would just click the midterm exam, and it's exactly the same process as your quizzes. So it's really user-friendly, it's multiple choice. As soon as you submit, they will be automatically graded and your score will be inputted on Blackboard, okay? So that's the modules and exams. I would literally go with the flow. I wouldn't try to get too ahead. Quizzes only open up certain days. You can get ahead, but I think that we stay more organized and we're going to get more out of it if we are sitting with the material and not rushing through it, okay? Now your personal growth project, there's a whole tab for this. And the instructions are right here. You would just click it. And if it doesn't automatically open, evidently you could just click here and a PDF will come your way. So I'm going to transfer my screen really quick. And basically everything's broken down for you here, but I just will go over kind of the main parts of this project. So there are different sections, so 6 different sections. Each section should be 1 to 2 pages double spaced, no less or no more. And it needs to be in 12-point times New Roman font, double spaced, page numbers at the end of each page in 1-inch margin, so pretty typical for any type of paper. And what I want you to do is just take it section by section, answer the questions, and share whatever comes up for you, whatever you feel compelled sharing. And you also are going to post a picture. You could post a personal photo or a meme, but just make sure you're describing the photo, so why it relates to that. So like this first section is just about you, information, who you are, how you identify, what your age is, 2 aspects of your identity, and maybe who has impacted you, who you are today. And then you would include a picture, whether that's a personal picture or just something that's meaningful to you. Historical context includes about your relationship with your primary caregivers, whether that was mom and dad, whether it was grandma, just anyone who really had the biggest influence on your life and really how it's shaped you, how it's affected you, whether your beliefs and values are the same as theirs, or you, as you individuated, maybe you found your own beliefs and values. And then again, another picture. Lifestyle choices, basically diet, exercise. You could include your spirituality, religion, or family versus career, whatever you're comfortable with. Like I said, there's no pressure to share something that you're totally uncomfortable speaking about. That's perfectly fine. Whatever feels right to you, whatever feels meaningful, it just has to be related to the topic. Number 4 is connection with self. So how would you describe your relationship with yourself? Are you someone who really values yourself, likes yourself, or do you struggle with self-esteem? Have you ever really thought about the relationship that you've had with yourself? If you haven't, then this class is really going to challenge you to do so. 5 is relationships. So your ideal relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a partnership, whether it's a friendship, what does that look like for you? Do you have it? Have you ever had it? Are you aspiring to have one? Do you not really care? Wherever you're at is okay. There's no right or wrong. And then future goals. Imagine the perfect future of yourself, for yourself, excuse me. So how basically when you're out of college and when you foresee yourself being quote unquote established, what does that look like for you? What do you want in your life? What's important for you? What's going to be meaningful? So that's kind of what the project is. So because there's 6 sections and could be 1 to 2 pages double spaced, your projects are going to come out to be anywhere between 6 and 12 pages. But with your picture, you don't want to take up too much room. So you have to have at least a page written, in other words. So if you have a page and a half and then the picture, that's perfectly fine. If you have one page written and then the picture just on page 2, perfectly fine too, but this should all be one document. I would have headings, so biographical introduction, historical context, just to make it a little neater. So if you have questions, you know who to ask. So I'm going to stop sharing again. And I am going to, I see clients through teletherapy, so that's what you're seeing right there. I'm going to go back to my Blackboard and go back to the personal growth project. And you'll also see, I'm not going to open it up, but I also went ahead and provided you my scoring rubric for the personal growth project, meaning you're going to see exactly what I'm using to grade your project. So literally, if I were you, I would have that open next to me. And when I'm done with my project, I would just make check marks. Okay, I did that. My formatting's right. I have all the sections. I'm good. That way you're knowing that's the best way to ensure that you get maximum points. And you're going to turn it in the same way as you turn in your homework. So there's a space for you to turn it in right there. And so those are the main components. So we have university resources as well. So specific to coronavirus and specific to campus resources. And then if you're having trouble with Blackboard, typically I'm not the one you go to for that. I mean, if it's something simple, I could try to help you. But if you go to the Help Center, it's going to open up a new tab and it's going to take you into Blackboard Help. They're going to be able to help you better than I can, basically. So that is pretty much it. I want to, let's see. I really want to make sure that you know that I'm here for you guys. I know we're not going to see each other face to face, but that doesn't mean I'm not here. It doesn't mean I don't care. I'm going to do my best to connect with you. There's about almost close to 70 of us in each class, and I encourage us to get to know each other. Couple main highlights before we go. I know this recording is getting really lengthy. Modules, everything's due within the module by Friday at 5 p.m. Take it module by module and you'll be just fine. Start on your personal growth project early, but it's not due until week 8 or week 9, the very end of the quarter, but the due dates and deadlines are there. Let's see, a lot of the material is heavy. It's tough. So if you're having a personal reaction, talk to me about it. If you're not comfortable posting about it in the discussion board, you could absolutely talk to me about it if you're comfortable. There's also campus resources for our own personal therapy. I'm all about therapy, but I'm biased. But if you're really wanting to connect, especially right now, we could feel we're more susceptible to feeling more isolated because of our physical distancing, but that doesn't mean it really necessarily has to be social distancing because we could still connect with Zoom. So if you're needing some extra support, I'm here, okay? It's really not a challenging class to do well in because it's a lot of our own experiences. So I want us to have fun. I want us to dig deep. I want us to talk about the uncomfortable subjects. And I also want us to learn, of course. So I'm here for you. I'm excited for this quarter. Let's see how it goes. Trial and error. And we're all going to give ourselves compassion. We're going to give ourselves grace and just going to trust the process. So good luck. Have a great spring quarter. We will be in touch. And I will talk to you soon.